Hey Flosstube, it's Katie the Stash Queen coming to you on this Sunday, April the 10th. I hope everyone has had a good stitchy week. I had a good stitchy week. I had a crazy busy rest of the week. I think I'm coming down with something, which is why I look like a hot mess today, but I don't care. But overall it was a pretty good week. Had a couple of weird things that I don't talk about on Flosstube just because it's Flosstube and not crazy psycho things happening at the kids' school. But, you know, it is what it is. So I've got another busy week coming up ahead. It just doesn't seem like to stop these days. I wish things would slow down a little bit. It's wearing me out, which is why I think I'm catching something. Yes, I'm going to call the doctor and see if I can get in next week. But I just, blah. But I am happy to talk about my stitchy stuff, and I'm excited to dive right in. So let's go ahead and get started. As always, we'll start with the Q&A. First question came from the Stitchy Panda. She asked, can you tell me what the stitches are called that are used for the Heaven and Earth Designs challenges and what the difference between them and standard cross stitches are? Well, first let me preface this by saying I'm not doing the HAID challenges. I have enough going on with my year of starts, so I don't have time to do the HAID challenges. I did look on the page for the Facebook page for Heaven and Earth Designs and in order to answer this question. And what it looks like for the challenge this time is cross-country stitching on an entire page. All that means is instead of going in blocks of 10 or up and down in columns, you're doing one color on an entire page. It's still regular crosses, or if you do 10 stitches, which are the half crosses, however you do it, it looks like is fine. But it's instead of going up and down or one row or one column or one 10 by 10 block at a time, you're doing an entire color on a page at a time. It's still regular X's. It's just a different way of how you are filling out the pattern. So if there's something else besides that, like I said, I'm not actually doing the challenges. I would recommend joining the Heaven and Earth Designs Facebook group. I'll put a link to it below. They may be able to answer some more of the questions there. Sasha Kostenko, sorry, Sasha, if I mispronounced your name, asked what the name of the color of the Mose sail thread that I'm using for the red, white, and blue borders on my postcards from the world is. It's called Liberty. It is a really pretty just red, white, and blue for the US, but it works for all of these countries that have red, white, and blue flags. So yeah, it's called Liberty. Cross My Stitch asked if the floss cones that I showed last week are 6-stranded. Yep, it's just like a massive skein of floss. It's still the regular DMC 6-skein floss, or 6-stranded floss. Tamara said, is it possible to finish all 365 projects eventually? Well, it's actually 366 that I would start if I only started one every day this year. I'm already on 367 because I started 2 on one day back a couple months ago, and then I'm going to add another, additional ones this next month with my birthday coming up in May. So, but yeah, you can. I'm doing a variation. I mean, a lot of mine are big. Don't get me wrong, a lot of them are big. But I also have a lot of small ones too, ornaments, little pieces that if I sat down and just worked on that piece for like a week, I could get it done. But that's not how I stitch. But again, as I have said several times before, I am a process stitcher, not a project stitcher. So sure, I want to finish all of them. I wouldn't start them if I didn't want to finish them. I mean, as much as I'm a serial starter, I don't start anything that I don't intend on at least trying to finish at some point. But I'm not worried about when those things are going to be finished, because even though I don't think I would have enough stash more than likely to do another year of starts next year, if we do another year of start challenge next year, I'm not going to do every single day. I will probably either do the weeks or the months if we even do it next year, so I can try to get some of these out of the way. But yeah, you eventually, sure. Savannah Morse asked for the Oz Santa. Did I just get the kit, or did I get the kit or just the pattern? I just got the pattern. At the time I wasn't sure when I was going to stitch it, and I was putting money in other things, so I'm kitting up the little bits that I need as I go along. Beth McGuire asked if I have ever, or what do I do with the patterns of projects that I've completed? 90% of the time, I'll say 90% of the time, I don't make a working copy. I mark up all my patterns. And so usually by the time I'm done with them, they're trashed because I've got pencil marks all over them. They've been folded and unfolded. They've been flipped. So usually they go in the trash. If for some reason I did not mark on the pattern, then I'll keep it and think about doing something with it later. Either donating it somewhere, or giving it to someone else, or doing it as a giveaway or something. My electronic patterns just all stay on Dropbox. Those I don't never get rid of. She also asks, have you ever fallen in love with a pattern and stitched it multiple times, multiple fabrics and colors, enjoyed it each time as much as the first time you stitched it? I haven't stitched the same pattern twice yet. Now, happy everything. I am probably going to stitch again. Not in the near future, but I'm probably going to stitch it again. The Madonna and Child ornament that I'm working on for Brooks Books, that one I think I will stitch multiple times. It's perforated paper though, so it won't change the thing that I use, or the fabric, I guess, because it's perforated paper. And I wouldn't change the colors because it's supposed to be a Madonna and Child, except maybe the background, but I won't change like the main focus of Mary and Jesus. I may stitch that one multiple times because I could do it as a gift for several people. The only one that I'm currently working on that I anticipate possibly doing again would be the Medieval Maiden. I've talked about that before, and it's a conversion from the blues and greens to more reds and wine colors, and from a blonde to a brunette. So that one would probably be the only one that I would right now look at stitching twice. Or maybe Raven Queen, if I decided to move her from, or convert her from a Raven Queen to like the Dove Queen that I've talked about before. Britty Boo asked, how do I keep my hand-dyed fabric so clean when I stitch? 1, clean hands. 2, I take off the hoop every night, 95% of the time, maybe closer to 98% of the time. I use a plastic hoop, not a wooden one. Plastic one seems to be better for cleaning purposes. And when I'm stitching, I tighten everything in the hoop, and then the top, anything that's on the top, like at the very top part of the hoop that needs to be like, that will get in my way while I'm stitching, I will roll it up and use my needle minder to help put that fabric in place so it's not going around and I'm not hitting it a lot. I will also roll the fabric to the side over, so my hands aren't over all of the fabric, just over the back of whatever's rolled up. And then the bottom, I just leave it as it is. I just never seem to have a major issue. Knocking on wood down here. But yeah, that's clean hands, plastic hoop. Take off the hoop every night, and roll things up so it's not in the way. And that's about it. Alex Croft said that she's loving the chatelaines that I've been working on. She's heard they're very expensive to kit up. I use all specialty threads for them, or are there DMC conversions? There are DMC conversions for like 95% of the specialty threads. Some of them don't have really good conversions, or they hadn't until this new Coloris line came out, so there may be a little bit more options now. But there's some of the specialty flosses, like the water lilies and some of the other hand dyeds, that are variegated, and there isn't a good DMC alternative. I personally use all of the specialty flosses. I like working with the silks. I think the color is more vibrant, but I have seen people who are doing just DMC and they're beautiful too. So you certainly could do them that way if you wanted to. Christine, Dorian, and Johnny Wizarick, sorry guys, both asked where I got my cones from. 2 of them I got from Joann's online. They were doing a 50% off sale. And then 2 of them I got from 123 Stitch. Christine did say that she could see buying a couple cones. She mentioned Anchor Black. I will say I don't know if Anchor comes in the cones. Mine are all DMC. So I've not seen Anchor cones. That doesn't mean they don't exist. I don't use Anchor. So you'd have to probably do a little bit more research to see if you could find Anchor cones. Those are all DMC that I've shown. And then Millie Allion asked if there is a gallery where all the finished projects by participants of the different Stitch Mania sales can be seen. Not at this time. We have a bunch of people who do use Instagram, so you can always find stuff on Instagram. You can always go back to old events pages in the group and see what people posted in there. People post pictures in Stitch Mania constantly, but we don't have one gallery of all of the pictures. It'd be a cool idea. Not sure how we'd set it up or maintain it, or if Garrett or I even have time to do so right now. So I would just say, if you want to see what someone did in a specific event, you can go back in past events on Facebook and go into the event page and see what people posted there. So those are the Q&As for the week. Thank you, everyone, as always, for your questions. And if there are any other questions or things I can answer for you, feel free to ask, and I'll get to them next week. All right, week in review. Lots of stitching this week. Maybe not as much as I wanted to. Like I said, I've been busy, and I've been kind of having to fudge my rotation a little bit during the days, depending on how busy I am and depending on what I'm doing. But I'm getting stitching in. I'm happy. All that matters. All right, first one is my monthly stitch-alongs. The Magical Creatures calendar by Clouds Factory, which is on 32 Oval Belfast in Diva, from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, using flosses and silks from Mo's sale. Here's where we are in April. I've got all the grass done. That's actually a big chunk of the frame, to be quite honest. Next, I'm going to do the tree, and then I'll keep going from there. So, I'm happy with the progress for this week. Kind of wish I got more done, but, you know, life happens. So here's the whole piece at this point. So I will keep working on that this week. Then the next one is my Postcards from the World by Clouds Factory, and this month we are in Moscow. I'm doing this one on 32 Joblin and Ice Goddess from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, using flosses and silks from Mo's sale. Here is that red, white, and blue floss, the Liberty floss that I'm using for the red, white, and blue countries, which are 3 of the 4 right now, but that's okay. So I finished the frame, and I did some of this icy ground part down here, so I'll work more on this week. And my minder is from oh, I just completely blanked. Sorry, I completely blanked. So there we go. That's where we are at this point. Delicious Threads. That's where it's from. Not enough caffeine, not enough sleep. Last night was a really bad insomnia night. But it happens. So I'll keep working on that this week. Then my other monthly stitch along is my pumpkin passport from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery that I'm Hoovionizing. And we are in Switzerland this month, and I'm doing this on 28 Joblin in Ice Goddess from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, using flosses and silks from Mo's. I'm so happy with what I did this week. Didn't do a lot, but what I did was significant. Look, I have an 11th Doctor! And he's got a fez, and he has his mop, and he has a bow tie. And the little adipose that was from the Netherlands is just right behind. It's so cute. The little boy just, he already had a hat on, completely lent himself to becoming the 11th Doctor. 11 is my second favorite. I want 10 in here somewhere, but we'll see what characters come up. So I have the 11 done, and then I did this little part down here. So we'll work more. I have more plans for this block. I will say, to give a hint, I will be doing something with the snow that is in relation to 10. And I will be replacing the sheep that is at the top of the mountain with one of the longest, if you want to call it a companion, that 11 had in Christmas, like at the end of his life. Think about it. There's your hints. So I'll keep working on that this week too. But I'm loving how it's turning out. So cute. Now I will say, because I made his hat a fez, I went up a couple of rows. So there's a couple of snowflakes that I think I'm going to have to cut. And then I didn't do that little pom-pom puff on it. So I filled in the little section over here with just the rest of the house to make it work. But yay! We'll see what I get to this week. So those are my monthly stitch-alongs. Then I have my Focus for a Finish. I'm still working on Box of Delights. And I am doing this one on, this is from by Blackwork Journey, and it's on 32 Joblin and Chocolate Milk from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. I'm almost done. with the blocks, with the black. Look, I just have that one little delight to finish up, and then the fancy border, and then I can start filling it in. So this week I will be happy if I can get all of the black done. If I can start filling in the border, I will be, or start filling in the delights, I will be even more excited. And there's my Jamie needle minder from Minding My Minders, which just opened back up for business today. So check them back out. And people have been asking what colors I'm going to be using. Here's your clue. They're all threads from Jottery that I have picked out, and I have a plan for all of them. So I'll keep working on that this week. Like I said, the goal this week is to get the black done so I can start playing with the pretty colors. Then the monthly or the annual Mania sale this past week was a Brooks Books week for me, and I was working on my Spirit of Oz Santa. And I finished the stitching on my Scarecrow this week. So his body and arms and legs are all done. As with everybody else, any beading or back stitching is being done when I have everything that goes on this page done. So I love the green, but oh my gosh, was he fiddly with all of the different colors in him. It's deceptive how many colors are actually in this little Scarecrow. But another week down, another character done. Yay! Then my monthly Mania sale this month is April Showers Bring Me Flowers. So I finished up week 1, which was my Edwardian Lady by Joan Elliott. And I am doing her on 32 Joblin and Calypso from Handed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here is where I got to. I decided to focus mainly on her skirt this time around. So I added a lot more blue to her skirt, which is a color of water, and she already had a lot of flowers, so that works. And there's my Claire needle minder from Minding My Minders. Outlander's back. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Good progress. So I worked on that until up through Thursday this past week. And then Friday started week 2 for April Showers Bring Me Flowers. And I am working for week 2 on Elf's Garden by Soda Stitch. And I am doing this one on 32 Belfast in Wildflowers from Under the Sea Fabrics. So I've worked on it one day so far this week. I showed it to you last week where it was, but here's where it is now. And I'll keep working on it this week. This is Summer, and I'm really going to try to focus on maybe at least getting the cross stitching done, if not the back stitching, done on her this week. That would make me happy. And I have a little Drink Me needle minder from Misty Needle Nannies. So yeah, there's some white up there that are flowers that go in her hair. Because see, this is the one I'm working on. This is Summer. So she's who I'm working on. So she's got a lot of flowers in her hair and in a blue hair, which is watery. So we'll see how far I get this week. I had a lot of fun working on this piece this week. Or so far. I still have more to do on it, but it was fun the one day I've worked on it so far. Then I'm still working on the Stitch Along for Flosstube, which is the Spring and Fall Stitch Along. And for that one, I am doing Easter Fairy by Mirabilia. And I am doing her on 32 Joblin in Seahorse Shores from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here is where we got to on her this week. There's another shade of yellow in there. I know it's hard to tell. Got her little basket done. So I'm happy with where we're going on this. I have my little Tinkerbell needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. So keep working on this week. We'll see how far I get this week. And that's all my stitch alongs. So let's get into the year of starts. First pattern that I worked on this week is an electronic pattern. I'll put a link to it below. It is Dr. Horrible by Wee Little Stitches, and I'm doing this one on 32 Lugana in Pewter from Picture This Plus. And here's where I got to. It's a blob of white for the doctor in the middle. Dr. Horrible. But, you know, it's only 3 characters and a little bit of text, so And I have my Keep Calm and Geek On needle minder from Minding My Minders. Then the next one that I worked on was from the I Love Cross Stitch Words of Wisdom book that I got from Joann's. And it is The Angels of the World by Joan Elliott. And I'm doing this one on 28 Jobelin and Isolde from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here, it's definitely going to cover up all of the frogging I did for a previous project that I didn't finish on this piece. But here's where we started. So got some of the black of the angel that's in the center of the frame. And then I have my angel needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. I think this is going to be really pretty when it's done. Let's see. Then the next one that I worked on was from, let's put this up there. It was yesterday, from the trio Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow. I started on yesterday. This is from Cross Stitch Needlework, July 2013, and I am doing this on 14 count perforated plastic. Here's where I got to at this point. Started the corner, gonna keep going. Yay, team. And then, let me see if I can get it a little bit clearer. Not without, you can. This you can. There you go. And I got the little stained glass needle minder from Minding My Minders. Then, let's put this in here, put it away. Next one that I have is from Cross Stitch Needlework, March 2014. It's called Pensy. It's the first of the series of the Vintage Seed packets. And I am doing this one on 32 Jobelin in Georgia Peach from Under the Sea Fabrics. And here is where I got to start on that pansy in the middle there. And I've got the little Ella needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. This actually comes up in the rotation again this week, so it's going to stay out as a whip. Then the next one I worked on was from the Year of Celebrations. This is the series from Cross Stitch and Needlework. This part came from the May 2014 issue. I started on April. And I'm doing the entire series on one piece of fabric. It's 32 Belfast and Autumn from Under the Sea Fabrics. And here is where I was able to get to for April. Start working on that cloud. And then pretty variegated floss. And then here's the whole piece at this point. And my minder is cleverly disguised as an adult. It's definitely how I feel today. Then the next one was from Cross Stitch and Needleworks September 2014 issue, Classic Christmas Charm. I started on the second ornament, which is this one right here with the little house and reindeer. And I'm doing them all on one piece of 32 Jobelin and Simply Sage from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. So I started the border for this second ornament. So there's the main border, first ornament, second ornament. And I think the third will go here, and then it's 4 rows, I believe. And then here is my blingy Santa needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Then the last new start that I had this week, I started yesterday, which started our Journey Through the Stones Outlander Stitch Along in Stitch Mania. That will go all of the entire season 2, which to me is usually they have like a several week break between the first half of the season and the second. This is going to go through the entire, like the end of the second half of the season. Even though Facebook won't let me fix that, I'll have to fix it as we go along, but whatever. I'm doing an electronic pattern. I'll put a link to it below. It's called Sampler Through the Stones. It's by Crown Street Cottage. And I am doing this on 32 Belfast and Umbriel from Under the Sea Fabrics. Not an exciting update this week. It's a big blob of gray. I'm working on the roof of the manor in the middle, and it's a bunch of gray. And I've got my little crown needle minder from Minding My Minders. And I have decided that for this stitch along, I'm going to do something similar to what I did with the Doctor Who stitch along last year. Because I don't have stars, I can't watch the show the day that it airs. I watch it later. And it's not a show that I watch with the kids in the house anyway. But I'm going to work on this 30 minutes a day every Saturday while the stitch along goes along. So even if I may not watch the episode on that Saturday, I will stitch on this on Saturday. So you'll be seeing a lot of that over the next several weeks. So those were my new starts. Chugging along at this year of starts. I've hit the triple digits for the number of starts I've done this year already. We're past 100. Anyway, I was able to get to 4 whips this week. The first one was Miscellany in Red from Just Cross Stitch February 2014 issue. It's a red work design by Liz Almond. And this is being done on 28 count white Jobelin. Here's where I got to. I was doing more. This, let me show you where. So there's what I was doing. And you see the red thread that I still have lingering back there. This is the border of the top motif in the corner here. So this motif right there, it's a double bordered motif. So I was working on that. Made some decent progress. And then my minder is this pretty red heart needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Then the next one that I worked on was Miss New Year's Fairy by Mirabilia. And I am doing her on 32 Jobelin and Hocus Pocus from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Really, all it is more rows of green in her dress. She has a lot of rows of green in this dress. But you can kind of see where the bling is going to go, or the beads and stuff with those holes there. You see the whole effect of the fabric back here. I need to cut this in half, but just haven't done it yet. And then I have this Fairy Cameo Needle Minder from Gina's Unique Boutique, I believe. Then continuing on with the Mirabilia Holiday Fairies. The third that I worked on this week, if you do Easter Fairy, the Miss New Year's, was Miss Valentine. And she is being done on 28 Jobelin in Amore from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Here she is. I finished this dark pink to a certain point on her dress and started filling in some of the leaves to give a little bit more of a contrast. I really like how this is looking. She's pretty. I got a blingy needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. And then the last one that I worked on this week, let me put this away. Excuse me. Was my mixed berry cheesecake, which is the limited edition dessert kit that was a collaboration between Dinky Dyes and Glendon Place. And it's being done on 28 Cashel in Bashful from Picture This Plus, which is a really pretty pale pink, but it's really difficult to see that. So here is where we are now. I finished this top purple chevron, or whatever, however you want to call it, and I started working on this one. Because there's 4 of those, and then I'll go back and do the next color after that. So, and another blingy purple needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. It's hard to tell just how pretty of a pale pink this is. Back here it looks a little bit better. It's very, very subtle, but I like it a lot. So that was what all I worked on this week. I'm pretty happy with it all. Like I have said more times than I can count, every stitch is a stitch closer to the end. And even if I only put a few stitches in, I'm showing you progress, because every stitch is progress, which is why I encourage people who may think that they haven't made a lot of progress on their pieces, show them to us anyway. Any progress is good progress, and we all want to see them. Okay, so what's coming up this week? Let me scroll down so I can see what's coming up this week. Okay, I'll keep working on my monthly stitch-alongs, so Magical Creatures, Postcards from the World, and the Pumpkin Passport. See how far I get on those this week. Continue working on my Box of Delights, Focus for a Finish. I will continue working on my Easter Fairy for the Flossable stitch-along. I mentioned that for the Outlander stitch-along, I'm going to work on the Sampler Through the Stones for 30 minutes every Saturday, so I'll work on that again this week. Annual Mania stitch-along. This week for me is a Chatelaine week, and in the rotation, we've got the Baltic Sea Mandala. So pretty. And I am doing this one on 32 Lugana in Mercedes from Picture This Plus. Let me get this open here. And here is where we are at this point. Still only 2 colors of floss in this whole part so far. So I'll work more in the middle. And I have my Starfish needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. Then for the monthly Mania stitch along, April Showers Bring May Flowers, I'll keep working on Elf's Garden between now and Thursday. Because Friday will start week 3. And for week 3, sorry, my things are falling over here. For week 3, I'm going to be working on my Flowering Crown by Just Nan. And I'm doing this on, what am I doing this on? 28 Joblin and Avalon from Under the Sea Fabrics. So I'll start working, this is where we are now. Let's get it over here. Working on the crown. Start working on some of the flowers up in the crown. Last time I worked on it, actually. Have my Pinup Elsa needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. So I'll start, this is where we are now. I will start working on this on Friday of this week, and then it'll go through. So we'll see what I can get done on it. Then the year of starts. First one that I'm going to start today is called Queen Bee. It's from Cross Stitch and Needleworks Spring 2015 issue. Because, you know, hello, Queen. And my son is getting obsessed with bumblebees lately. And I am doing this one on 28 Lugana in Chalice from Picture This Plus. It's a piece of fabric I got from Stitchy Box. I think it'll work well. I may even cut it down. We'll see. And then I have my little girl bumblebee needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Put this away. You all know me. I put stuff away on camera. Then the next one I'm going to work on is from this series of the wreath ornaments. I had already started the angel. This month I am starting the dove. This is right here. And this is from Cross Stitch and Needleworks Holiday 2015 issue. And I'm just doing it on a piece of silver perforated paper. Nothing too fancy. Perforated paper. There's a lot of white in that one. A lot of white. Then the next one I'm scheduled to start is Water Babies by Joan Elliott. And this is from the Cute Cross Stitch Spring 2013 magazine. And I'm going to be doing it on 28 Joblin in Fathoms Below from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here's the pretty watery fabric for water babies. And I have my little blingy turtle needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies to go with the water babies. Then the next one is the one that I can't show you. One of the ones I can't show you. And that is for the Vermilion Stitchery Teacup collection. I'll be starting the April Sweet Pea teacup. So, and I'm doing all of these cups on one piece of fabric. It's 28 Belfast and Whimsical Winter from Under the Sea Fabrics. Here's where we are at this point. January, February, March. So I'll start April. And I've got a little coffee cup needle minder from Minding My Minders. Then the next one is from the World of Cross Stitching's issue number 205. It is Animal Print ABCs. Now this is charted for Anchor, but I'm converting it to DMC. Yeah, Dr. Pepper can. And I am doing this on 32 Lugana in Fresco from Picture This Plus. It's kind of like a stony gray, brown, cream color. It's really pretty. Gonna have to cut it down. And I have a little Grover needle minder from Minding My Minders because Grover helped me learn my ABCs. Come on. Static electricity catching stuff over there. Then the next one I will work on is from the Ukrainian Egg series. I'm going to start Egg B, which is this one right here with the red flower in the middle of it. And I'm doing this series on 32 Joblin in Sailor's Delight from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. I probably am going to cut this down, I've decided. So here is A. Here is where I started A. So I'm going to cut this down and have it as 3 separate quarters. And I've got my little star needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. And then my last new start for this week is an electronic pattern, and I'll put a link to it below. It is the Jane Austen Mini Library from Clouds Factory. And I'm going to be doing this on a scrap of fabric that I got from a scrap bag from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. I'm debating if I'm going to switch out the floss colors. I might for the titles of the works. I haven't decided yet, but it's a cute little blue and purple scrap. And I have a Pride and Prejudice quote needle minder from Minding My Minders. So I'm thinking I will possibly change out the floss for the titles so I can get some pretty variegated floss. Haven't fully decided yet. We'll let you know next week. So those are my plans for the year of starts. For the whips, haven't hit 7 in a week in a while, but I'm still pulling 7 anyway. Better to be ambitious than to not show you guys something. So I did have 3 holdovers this week. The first one was Moonflowers by Mirabilia. And I am doing her on 32 Joblin in Pandora from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here is the little bit that we got to when we worked on her. Purple and teal. And I have this blingy mystical tree and the moon needle minder from Minding My Minders. Then as always, if I can get my holdovers done, plus any extras, I'd be happy. Next one is Nativity Silhouette. This is from Cross Stitch and Needleworks, January 2015 issue. And I am doing it on 28 Joblin in Chocolate Milk from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here's where I was able to get to when I started it. It's part of the red part of the silhouette. And I have a little Linus needle minder from Minding My Minders. I think it looks like a sword or a lightsaber. And then the last holdover that I had for this week is the Nunavut Santa from Mill Hill. And all it is at this point is just some white of the polar bear. So we'll get a little bit more progress on that. Now the other patterns that I have pulled for this week, if I get through those 3, we have Orchid Intrigue. It's from Just Cross Stitch, February 2014. Oh, February 2015, excuse me. And I am doing this on 32 Belfast in Arene from Under the Sea Fabrics. And here's where I got to when I started working on it. Got the little heart in the middle and the next little motif bit beside it. I have a rose needle minder from, I want to say Gina's Unique Boutique, but I believe Nifty Needle Nannies also has it. Then we've got my Pikes Peak Santa, also from Mill Hill. This one was when I was having some issues with the colors on, but I think we're okay. And it's just a blob of brown right now. It's really his glove where the eagle is sitting on it that I really worked on. So we'll make some more progress on that when it comes up. And then the last one in my whips is Pinup Girls from Soda Stitch. I think they're adorable. Just the, you know, anime versions of classic Pinup Girls. They're adorable. And this one I'm doing on 32 Jobelan in Pixie Kiss from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here she goes this way. Here's where we are at this point. I'm working on the little girl, and not little girl, the one in the middle, the woman in the middle. And I have a blingy Dime D needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. So got that one going. She looked like a scorpion when I first started her because of the colors of her hair and the shape. She's looking a little bit less scorpion-like now. So that's it. That is my plans for this week. We'll see how far I get on all of those. I do have some stash acquisitions. Not a ton, but a lot of stuff that just normally came in. Kids' birthday parties are coming up in May and June, so putting a little bit of a halt on stash acquisitions for a bit because a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old birthday party are pricey. Especially when said 10-year-old is trying to convince, or said almost 10-year-old is trying to convince almost 6-year-old to go to medieval times for one of their birthdays. Said 10-year-old also wants to go and have hibachi for dinner. They're not getting everything, but it's going to be pricey. So, I placed an order with Moe's on some colors that she had released, re-released, that I didn't have in my stash. So I got 3 skeins of her TARDIS. One of these will go in the Don't Blank for sure. And then I got 1 skein of Welsh Green. And then 3 skeins of Ravenclaw. Slowly building up the Harry Potter line that I missed. Then I got the 3rd installment of the Nora Corbett Wherefore Art Thou Mystery Stitch Along. And here's pretty Juliet. So now I have all 3 pieces and I can get started on it when I'm ready to get started on it. I do have plans for it this year, just not yet. I also had one other pattern that I got that when I ordered those floss cones and some other supplies, I saw this pattern. It was on sale for the week and I fell in love with it and I had to get it. It's Yesteryear from Little House Needleworks. Considering how kids these days don't know anything about that type of telephone, a typewriter is unheard of, though I used a typewriter before I ever got a computer. Cars are different, bikes are different, pictures and airplanes are different. I liked this, and so I wanted to get it. And then I also got my Stitchy box. Now, I know others have already done their Stitchy box unboxing videos. So if you don't want to watch mine, even though you don't have to, it's okay. The fabric I got this time was 28 count Jobelan in Twilight Mist from Witchelt. It's this really pretty blue-gray. Oh, it even has like those little rays go through it. It's really pretty. And we know I love my Jobelan. So I'll figure out something to do with that. It was also a very thread heavy, which is fine with me. So these are the threads that came in. We have a limited edition Gentle Arts colorway. I'm not sure what the name of it is because it wasn't written on here. But this is the limited edition Stitchy Box exclusive colorway. The theme this time around was the Scream for their Halloween box. This is very Halloween-y. And the other exclusive colorway was a Dinky Dyes Silk. This is Trick or Treat. It's pretty variegated oranges. You have to get another skein of this. Then we also got a Weeks Dye Works Chris's Bonbon. It's the pretty brown. And then some new to Stitchy Box Fiberlicious Spun Silk in Imperial Purple. It is stunning. Gorgeous. Love this color. It looks almost black on the screen, but it's just this deep, dark, royal purple. So pretty. I've not used Fiberlicious before, so that'll be interesting. Then this one is called Planet Earth Fiber, and it's a 6-ply hand-painted silk in green foliage. Isn't that just beautiful? Very Emerald City-like to me, if you ask me. And then the last of the threads, this is the Pure Palette Soy Luster Shadows in After Midnight. It's another really pretty dark purple. It's a lot brighter on the screen than it is in person, but it's gorgeous. You can really see the variegation on the screen. That's good. Yay, floss. We all know I love my flosses. And then for the little extra bits, we got from Planet Earth Fibers, we got a silk ribbon in Yellow Brick Road. I think I'm going to try to figure out a way to get this incorporated into my Spirit of Oz Santa, because it does call for some of the ribbon type stuff, and Yellow Brick Road, hello. And then we got 3 different little things of beads, about 1 gram each. They're all Toho 15, size 15 round glass beads. We have them in raspberry lined olivine, purple lined amethyst matte, and bronze lined aqua rainbow. Yay, beads! So that's it. Stitchy Box is awesome. Get it. It's great. I also have a Stitchy Box coffee mug that I ordered, but it's downstairs in the dishwasher because I'm using it a lot. That is it for me this week. I have plans to work on, I think I have everything I need now that I can start planning out my May video. So I can get that done and ready for Mania. But like I said, I've got some other crazy busy stuff going on this week. Such is life, right? I hope everyone has a wonderful stitchy week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!